Hey guys,
Hello.
welcome back to a new episode of Free Therapy. On today's episode, we thought to discuss a bit about romantic relationships and marriage to like a certain point, and also like having kids. And yeah, we're just gonna get into it for a bit, give our opinion. I don't know, just have a little talk about it and how important these things are and so on.
Yes. So, to start with this whole type of discussion, I think we should start talking about it from the first stages, from the beginning. And I would say the beginning of this would be even like a situationship you have. But let's start with the actual point when you start dating someone, which is a relationship basically. And like you've told me before, I think it's a good question to start asking yourself if you are dating this person to marry them.
Or to break up at some point.
Yeah,
But it's kind of weird to start a relationship being like already thinking about a breakup.
right. But that's why I think this is a good question to ask yourself, because I think you should try to set a goal for not just a goal, like to kind of throw a vision on the future of how it's gonna be looking like with this person you are talking to. Because at the end, it should have a purpose, whether you wanna date them actually or just have something casual, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
I think it shouldn't be so strict and like defining what you want
Yes, like
from the beginning on.
you
Like you should
shouldn't
let it flow
you shouldn't
somehow.
follow a pattern.
Yeah,
Low
like you
key.
shouldn't meet someone for the first time and after that you start questioning like, oh, am I going to date them, or we keep it casual, or we're just friends, or whatever. I think you just let it happen.
And live in the moment,
Exactly.
basically.
And at some point, after meeting multiple times maybe, or chatting for a long time, you start having this kind of vision like, oh, I feel like doing this with this person.
Yes,
I
and
feel like having that.
at some point you're not even like starting to visionate this like thing. You're just it's gonna come like naturally. You're
Yeah.
gonna involve them in your future without even thinking about it. Be like, oh, next year I'm having these plans,
Mm-hmm.
and you're already planning them, being part of them without even thinking like, will they still be there?
Yeah.
That is like a sign of stability in the relationship.
I agree with that. But still, on the other side, I think it is important to, like, back to that question we put at the beginning, to ask yourself this question: if am I actually dating this person to marry them at the end, like, or to break up? Because actually, if you want to put this question apart, it just, in other words, you can translate it in: does this person actually match my vibe, my, I don't know, the thoughts that I had about a partner, you know? Because as we said, like, of course, I am with the idea of just keeping it natural and living in the moment and letting it happen. But at some point, if you're not feeling the vibe anymore and you know that this is going nowhere, I think it's just nonsense to keep trying. You
But
know what I mean?
what if you don't see them as a stable partner like in the future, but you're still enjoying it? Would you
What's the
think
purpose of it?
you,
That's the point. That
exactly? Would you
I think every relationship, like now we're talking specifically in a romantic way, but I think every type of relationship should have its purpose at the end. Like, even if I know people, like, for example, let's just give an example. The word friend, okay? I wouldn't call anyone I know a friend. I would just describe them as someone I know.
An acquaintance.
What?
An acquaintance.
Yeah, like just that I see them because of a certain type of situation, like a coworker or
Classmate.
classmate or I don't know, roommate or something. Like I don't have to be friends with these people, and I'm not really willing on calling them friends because they are not serving the purpose of what a friendship it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, if I come to compare like my friendship with you, it's like something to call a friendship because it's serving its purpose. I'm here to help you. You are here to listen to me. We are hanging out. We know about each other's lives. Like, literally, the description of a friendship, of platonic love. And I think you should try to take the same scenario and apply it on any other kind of relationship. Because if you're actually enjoying the moment with a partner, but for the future you're not really seeing them as a stable partner,
Like someone you wouldn't have kids with, or someone you wouldn't
yeah, then
have a family with, no matter if
exactly,
it
then
involves kids or not.
literally, then if you see this vision, that means that it's not serving the purpose of being in a relationship with someone, like calling them your boyfriend or girlfriend, you know?
Yes,
It's more of a casual thing. I don't think, like, it's so contradictory to be someone's girlfriend or someone's boyfriend when you know that they are not the one that you're willing to spend the rest of your life with. You know what I mean?
yes.
It's literally like a waste of time. Like, exactly as I said, take this scenario on a friendship. If
Well-
if you see yourself enjoying hanging out with someone, but I don't know, behind the scenes, like through phone messages or in normal life around people, you're like, I'm not feeling you, you know? Or like you have some type of characteristics that I'm not really matching with or vibing with, but I'm still like fine with hanging out with you, you
but
know?
let's say you do vibe with someone.
Then explain to me why wouldn't you imagine yourself having a family with such a person if you are saying that you're vibing with them and you're matching and
So let's say you're vibing with someone and you do care about them. It's not like you're embarrassed with them around your family or friends, as you said, like in certain, I don't know, social circles and whatever. There is something about them that it's still
like
like
what? I don't
I
get what
feel like in a corner right now. Let me talk.
because I still don't get it
But let me
because you're
talk
saying that
then.
you're
Let me
matching
give you
already.
them examples. And I'm not like on this side because it's not like I want this kind of relationship.
That's what it sounds like. That's why I'm
No.
trying to to take the words outside of your mouth.
No, it's not that I'm into this. I'm just trying to put out the whole situations. Maybe someone else feels like in this
Okay.
certain situation. So let's say you do vibe with someone and you love them and you care about them, but like if someone will ask you, would you have a kid with this person? You'll be like, oh hell no. But you're still with them.
But that's you come back to the same question I'm asking you. You're not trying to explain it. Why is the question again? Why wouldn't you want to? If you say that you're matching with them, you like their vibe, their personality, blah blah blah, their looks, whatever.
Maybe
Why wouldn't you want to have a future with them?
maybe there's something like sometimes something moral about them.
Exactly, that's what I was saying.
You're like, maybe you saw how they're with kids, or you look at their I don't know, their plans in life. They don't have something exactly stable, like their career
Mm.
or their goals. They're not so stable in that kind of area, and thinking of like being with them feels bright and so on, but having something like building a family with them doesn't really match with your like standards.
Then you come back to the point that I was saying. When you discover such a thing about the person, because
But
of
what
course
if
throughout dating
what
them,
if you do discover it but you don't break up with them?
That's the point. It's not serving the purpose of having an actual relationship anymore. Like, you can't call it a relationship if you see yourself at some point not being with the person anymore, you know? Because at some point, imagine this person actually sees themselves
With you.
with you. Exactly.
And you're feeding them delusions. Exactly.
Right. You see, it's not serving the point of, like, at some point they're gonna ask you, you wanna marry me? Wanna have kids with me? And you're gonna be like, what are you gonna say?
You're gonna. Those are those kind of
They're gonna break
relationship.
up with
They'll be
you.
like, I am not ready, and that's when it's gonna fall apart.
You see?
So
So-
those, that's what I'm saying. It's like there are people that do this, and instead of being aware that they're wasting the other person's time
And theirs.
and theirs, but for them it's like, it's good enough.
Mm.
I don't think I could find a better lover right now, and I don't need one. But it's good enough to like hang out with them for now at least. And then when the other person is really into it, that's when it literally falls apart. And then maybe for you it's not like waste of time because you were enjoying it
Mm.
and you were gonna end it at some point, but they really put their whole like thoughts in this relationship. And as you said, when they're gonna be like, oh, do you want to marry me? It's
No,
gonna-
thank you. Like,
no thank you. And they're like, jaw on the floor, what was this then?
Yeah.
Like, no, you're nice but not that nice.
Yeah. You see, that's like, I get your point, and I know that some people out there actually are doing such stuff,
Exactly.
which
so
is really heartbreaking. To
it
be
is
honest.
heartbreaking. So
Because
that's
I
why you
think-
should question yourself. Do I want them like that? Like,
Yeah.
if you see that the relationship is going further and for them it is more meaningful there for you, you should think of them more than you think of.
Because literally, this is giving, like, I think I mentioned this once, like having the fear of loving more than being loved. Because this is literally the equivalent of what we're talking about right now. Like, imagine your partner loves you so much to the point that they would sacrifice everything to marry you and have kids with you and work for their kids, to nourish them and send them to school and whatever. And they're having their whole energy and thoughts into this type of thing, growing their love bigger and bigger for you. But in the same time, without them knowing, you're like, I love you, but not to the point of having my whole ass life with you.
And you know what's even more fucked up in this kind of situation? When, let's say, the woman in this situation, she's not that loving. Like, it's like not a 50-50 kind of relationship. He's more into this and he wants to marry her and everything. But she's like, I don't see you as a father. Like, in her mind, she doesn't tell him that. But then, out of pity, which is more disgusting, she would say yes to whatever he's proposing. Like, yeah, let's have a family together. And then, whatever, if it's the woman or the man in this situation, one of the person could be like, yeah, I don't think I could find someone better than this. I am comfortable with you because we've been in this for a long time and I just feel like I can rely on you and you rely on me, of course. And this is the kind of situation when two people go into a marriage and have kids, and at the end there's one of them that cares more and the other person that didn't take the step back when they had the chance to will end up maybe having a miserable life and having kids and have like a kind of marriage that is really unhappy, at least for them.
like they're trapped in
And
their own
those are
decisions.
the people that I think end up being unfaithful and cheating on their partners.
But it's literally in their own hands, you know?
It is.
Like it's not like their partners were following them with a fucking belt and beating their ass like, will you marry me? You know? like
in that
like
kind of way.
literally.
But because they didn't get the step back in the relationships
No.
in the relationship phase where they
It's
could have when they could have answered to this question, but they didn't even ask themselves.
it's literally just them being delusional.
At
Like
some point when you feel like, oh, I've been with you for so many years, instead of being like, let me start over, because you're scared to start over with someone else, and they're like, oh, I've been in this for so long,
fuck it, let's just do it.
let's just do it.
You know.
And then the unhappy marriage
Mhm.
is happening and the kids are coming, and that's just miserable, and it's your fault.
And it's so irresponsible if you think about it, because the fact that the consequences of such a decision are not just gonna apply on your life and you as a person, but on your partner and on your kids that you are willing to have with them. It's just actually so disgusting to think about. Like, even though people who get married are not that old and maybe they don't think about such stuff like far away, but especially in our age, in our generations, it should be considered more and more to think about such decisions, because we all know how some kids end up living a miserable life because of how immature and irresponsible their parents were in taking decisions like getting married or moving in together or starting a life by themselves or having a kid even.
Yes, then the kid is not gonna receive the love from both parents or even none of them, because their relationship would be damaged by having kids, basically. And there's gonna be too much stress, and the kids would be the ones to suffer the most out of this.
Literally.
Because of their decisions, the kids have to suffer
Yeah.
most of the time. And then eventually and possibly the relationship as well,
Mm-hmm.
followed by divorce, or even worse, before divorce there could be much more drama and be like, they start being unfaithful.
Mhm.
And
Such stuff I think are so traumatizing for kids. Sometimes for the better though, not gonna lie.
yes,
mean-
at least better late than never.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I be like, not gonna lie, I be talking from some self experience that when kids witness such stuff, they grow and develop their character to the opposite side of this. Like, it's kind of more scary for them, I think, to get into serious relationships and decide on a partner to stay with for the rest of your life, basically, because of what they've witnessed throughout their childhood.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think it has an impact of like positive mindset where you'd be more aware about such stuff, because basically you witnessed what bad decisions and relationships were for you, like your parents as the biggest example, you know?
Yes, I agree that people should think about the kids as well in marriages or just relationships in general. But is it actually important or necessary, actually, to have kids in relationships? Hello?
Yeah. I don't know. But
Like, is it something for you, for example? Do you think being with a partner and building a family, could a family just be you and them? Is it
Yeah.
necessary for you to have a kid in the future?
I don't know. This is a tough question to answer. But if I want to talk generally about this, I think it is not necessary to have kids to call yourself a family or to feel that your marriage had a purpose, because the purpose of your marriage is having a stable relationship with your partner and confirming it confirming it and loving them basically forever, you know. So I don't think kids are like a goal that you should have after getting married or before or whatever, you know. But of course, like, because you asked me personally, I have this mentality that it's not like a goal that you should have to feel fulfilled basically in your marriage. But at the same time, I feel like kids play a big role in growing a family, you know.
But I don't think, I think they're important to a certain level, but not everyone is meant to be a parent. So even though you would like to have something that connects you both, you know, like it's the blood of both of you and whatever is very significant, and your bloodline is gonna live longer after you and yada yada. But not everyone is ready for this, and not everyone should have kids because, you know, like mentally people don't realize it. But instead of like having someone else to take care of, it's so much responsibility that sometimes people don't put it like in themselves to take care of themselves, and then they create someone else, and it's even hard to manage, like now having two people to take care of and focus on the relationship as well.
That's true. I agree that not everyone is ready to be a parent, of course, and that's totally valid.
Sometimes there are people saying like, you will be ready. No one was born ready, and so on. But I feel like you still need to be sure. It's not like, oh yeah, you know, when you're gonna be pregnant and stuff, and for women especially, they're like the matern like feeling will come and you will know how to be. But it's not really like that. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree with this.
It's not for everyone, and unfortunately, a lot of people that shouldn't have kids, they be making even too many.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the what's unfortunate is that the ones who are not ready to have kids are the ones that are actually having the most kids
Yes.
on this planet. Like, I agree with that. As you said, like everything you said is valid, because having a kid is and just a new individual in your life is such a big responsibility that some people are not really conscious about it sometimes, from different sides, emotionally, mentally, financially even. And again, such decisions that sometimes the parents take are mostly affecting their children's life. And I think most of us can relate to this, because our parents were maybe financially stable on one side, but I'm sure that most of our parents are not stable mentally and neither emotionally for most of us.
And it can be that, of course, financially you should be stable to have a human being like taking care of it, and you know, but still there are a lot of people that weren't rich, were having maybe a modern life, even lower than that, and their kids turn out to be even more humane and empathic and everything, like they know how to do this.
That's the point that I was saying right now, that even though most of our parents maybe were financially stable, maybe not, I know that most of them weren't emotionally and mentally stable to actually have kids. And I think that is the most unfortunate thing, because also I think that most of old marriages is not really well thought, and it's just based on this idea of getting married and securing your future, you know. We literally come back to what we discussed before, just knowing a person for a long time and loving them and vibing with them and just getting attached to them basically. And after many years you just can't start from the beginning again because you feel like,
You're trapped.
yeah,
You lost too much time,
yeah,
and I don't know.
exactly.
You put too much in that relationship, even though it was minimal. You lost the time, and you feel like if you would start over, it's gonna be hard, because sometimes people think that being old means less. I mean, it is sometimes less opportunities, less options to choose from finding a partner. But I don't think that's. I don't think that's true. I think everyone could start over whenever they want.
Yeah, I agree as well.
My grandma, for example, she was married. It didn't work out. He was an asshole. No comments. Then she started her relation. Started having a boyfriend, and he was basically my grandpa. I didn't get to meet my real grandpa. And this guy that was my step grandpa, he was super nice, but at some point she was not scared again to just give up on the relationship, even though it was comfortable and they were getting old. And sometimes people don't tend to break up because they're like, oh, we're getting old, someone has to take care of me,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But she did, and she's right now almost, no, she is 70. She's, I think, 71, if I'm not wrong. And I think the girl has a boyfriend right now. She is still living the life.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's also okay, you know, like, what is age at some point? Like, why would it be a barrier that stops you from doing what you were doing 50 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
If it's available and you are still, like, in good conditions to do it, then why the fuck not? Like, who stops me? Who would stop me, you know?
Yeah,
So,
the more, the more, it's not like we're old, but the more I grow up and the more I advance, like, in age. Because let's say I was thinking when I was 15 or so that, oh my God, old people, they're so weird. They're so, like, different. But now that I get to be older, and, like, also the relationship with my parents changed throughout the years, I get to see that old people are actually not that old. Like, mentally, yeah, they experience different stuff. Maybe they have more knowledge about certain, like, situations and things. But for example, me, I don't feel like my mind changed a lot since I was 15. I feel like a child still.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, at some point you realize that your parents were 20 once, and why would you want to just envision them in a different type of mentality than they had 20 years before? Because if I would put that on me, if I would imagine myself when I'm being 40, I don't think I would change the way I'm thinking as of right now, you know?
Yeah, maybe, of course, you would know more stuff. You
Yeah,
would
but
have, like,
I would have the same character, the same personality, the same type of jokes, of humor, of morals, you know? And that's why you get somehow to understand your parents more.
When you get older, exactly.
Yeah, and you realize, like, really, like, that TikTok hit. Like, my mom she was a kid once, she was 20, and this is her first time doing life as well as I'm doing it.
Yes.
You know? Like, of course, it's not an excuse to, like, the trauma some parents be giving their kids, but it's something to also consider sometimes. Like, we always think that we are going through the shit and stuff, but we are going through stuff as well as our parents, because it is their first time also living and experiencing all of this.
Yes.
Like, it's hard on them as it's hard on us. And it is something to be considered and thought of. But as I go back to like people not being emotionally ready or mentally ready to have kids, as I said, that affects the kids at the end. And it's really important to think about such a decision deeply before deciding on what to do, because the scary thing about this for me always when I think about it is how such a decision can take turn, because for me such decision can take two turns. Either the parents who are not emotionally stable to have a kid are gonna inherit this instability to their kids, and their kids are gonna be just like their parents and take the same decisions as their parents did. Or the kid is somehow, because of outsiders and other influences, will
Be aware.
aware exactly
Exactly.
like they will be aware of what my fucking parents did, and they will be like, no, I have to break this generational trauma and I have to change this here. I'm not having kids, I'm not until I'm ready for that, and I know how big such a decision is, even though they never experienced that, and they're just being 18 or 20 years old.
Yes.
Because I feel that,
Mhm.
like, I'm really talking from experience, like, no joke. I don't want to be cheesy or dramatic about it or anything, but that's why I was saying that I think most of our parents weren't ready to actually have kids. And this is the scary thing about it. Like, for me, it took this turn that I'm maybe more aware about such a topic. But for some people that maybe didn't get the chance to see the world from a different perspective, like maybe people back home, I think of people back home living in like villages where they barely see like young people, or
Mhm.
they barely experience stuff, and they're just stuck in that village for the rest of their lives. How would they break that generational trauma? How would they become aware of something if they are living with their parents their whole lives without seeing something else rather than what their parents are doing?
Yes.
And that is the scary thing, and what makes me feel like sorry for such people, because such a thing is really, really unfortunate and is actually sad and miserable.
Yeah, but as you said, the fact that some kids are aware of what their parents did and they're trying to break the circle.
Mm-hmm. I
It's
hope this fucking sound in the background is not really
yeah,
loud,
the
because
neighbors decided to drill the walls right
yeah.
now,
So excuse the background noises.
if there are any. I'm sorry.
Anyways,
But yeah, going back, the fact that some people get to break the circle and try at least, like gentle parenting, for example, which is so hard, I think, because
I saw a TikTok about that.
me especially, I don't think my mom is aggressive. Like, she's never been aggressive.
But that's the point.
But like,
that
the screaming part,
yeah, yeah.
like, because I have a little brother, I think oh my god. Little story time. When my brother was in kindergarten, I was the one that had to bring him to school every day because his kindergarten was next to my school. And my mom was like, "You're taking your brother to school." And I was being not gentle about it. I was like, "Oh my god, move your ass, walk faster," and so on. And I think that was because of the environment I've got to live in. Not just because of my parents, but my older brothers as well. My sister used to be a bit tough with me when I was a kid and telling me like, "Oh my god, move your ass, do this, you're not doing it right." And like, especially because it's like a Balkan family and household, like I feel like being a little bit aggressive, it's a bit normalized
Mm-hmm.
back there. And so I was doing it as I've seen it. I was also so super young. My brother is 9 years younger than me. And even though the difference could be a lot or small in the same time,
Mm-hmm.
I was being tough with him while bringing him to the kindergarten and taking him from the kindergarten. And also because my parents put so much responsibility on my shoulders by taking care of my sibling
From
that
such
much
young age.
from such a young age. And so like it was a responsibility. Like the teachers knew me better than they knew my mom,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. And I've been tough with my brother, but then as I grew up, I tried gentle parenting, let's say. I don't have kids, but I've been through it already. And it was hard, not gonna lie. Like trying to change that behavior, that these anger issues that unfortunately my family suffers from, and you've just, as you said, they inherited this to the younger generations. They feel like that's how it should be. Oh, you're not listening? Let me be louder
Yeah.
and like really say that to you.
Mhm.
And yeah, I've seen also TikToks about this. People that experience such households and having kids by themselves,
I
and then trying to gentle
To be fair,
parenting.
I saw a TikTok like some days ago. It was a mom and she has two kids, like toddlers, kind of.
Yeah.
The one of them was like a year older and a year younger, sorry. And the sister was playing with like castles or Lego or something. She was building them and he was just passing by and he was like bumping into them and making them fall down. And his sister was telling him to stop. And his mom was like, "That's not nice of you. You should say sorry." And he was saying sorry. And then he was doing it again and again. And at some point, she was like fed up with him. And she was like, "I fucking told you to stop." And he looked at her and was scared as fuck. And he just disappeared from the scene. And she was like, "I thought I could gentle parent." I mean, it's necessary to be sometimes a bit more aggressive, but to not come to the point where you could give your kid a trauma, you know?
They're
Like-
flinching
Yeah.
the moment you raise your voice to them.
Exactly. Like a bit of screaming at them wouldn't hurt anyone, you know? But
Yes.
not like beating their ass and like some families do that, you know? I think that is the bad type of parenting. It shouldn't be gentle the whole time. Of course, at some points you're as I said, you're just human and you're doing this for the first time, and of course sometimes you will lose control of yourself. But it's always important to not cross over the line,
Yes.
you know. Yeah.
But let me ask you something else though. So, relationships, okay, we've had a small look over that, and kids in marriages. But do you think marriage overall is important? Like, do you have to get
I wanted
married?
to ask that before.
Do you
Because,
have to
know,
get married?
you know, the thought of getting married is just signing a paper. Like, why? Like, my question is, why would the paper
Change the
decide-
relationship?
Yeah, decide what our relationship
Or a
should be
ring.
like. Yeah, or that because I signed the paper and I put a ring on your finger, I love you endlessly. Like,
Yes.
didn't I before? You know?
Why do we have to officialize it in
Yeah, like
paperwork?
it's like somehow it's like literally a governmental thing more than actually something meaningful. Just because of taxes, I think, and like
Mhm.
papers, stuff like that.
Insurances.
Literally, like because you pay less, but otherwise, like, what is marriage? Just officializing it.
And I feel like even though it's such a small thing, like just signing a paper brings so much stress into the relationship.
Yeah, right. Like, oh my god, I'm getting married, and people get emotional over it and cry and stuff.
I mean, yeah, that's sweet,
it's sweet, but
but no, the pressure that my husband, the house, I have to be a housewife now. Why would you live like
weren't
that.
you, but weren't you a housewife or when you were living together, but before getting married? You know, like
Oh, and living together. That's something that really says a lot about a relationship.
But before we end this question, even though I don't see the point in marrying
Mm-hmm.
someone or like marriage in general, I feel like I will get married. Like,
What if your
because you grew up in such an environment, you know, and it's like inherited to you. The difference here is that it's not harming, but it's not bringing something up to the relationship, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So if you could do it, and if you want to, and if your partner wants to, why not? You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a tradition type of thing. If I would consider it that way, you know?
But what is something untraditional you would like to do in your marriage?
Something untraditional.
Yeah.
The location.
Oh, but marriage, not the like
What do you mean?
in the whole marriage, not just the wedding. Because you said location,
Yeah.
you meant the wedding,
Yeah.
but no,
Like
in the marriage.
getting married.
The marriage, in, for example, let me say something so you maybe understand better what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
So, traditionally, the woman has to take the name.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me tell you. So I respond to it since I already.
Mm.
So traditionally, the woman takes the name of the man, or whatever. If the woman has a cooler name, they both take her name. But you know what I would like? To begin a new family with a new name.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be so nice.
That'd be so hard to do it with someone. Like to find someone who would be actually willing to do that.
And to find a name to agree, both of us.
Literally. Like, especially for us, like now that you mentioned this, in what language would you choose the name?
I don't
Because like we're so international.
Obviously not in mine. Like, I don't know what like nationality my husband will be, but if it's German, oh hell no, it's not gonna be a German last name. Just if it sounds really fucking cool. But
Maria Elena Smith.
Schmidt. No, but like, yeah, I would really like that.
Maria Elena McDonald's.
McDonald's. Jesus Christ.
To sacrifice your life.
I'll name myself Obama or something.
Something untraditional. That's a good question.
Or like maybe regarding rings or what is a ring even? Handcuffs?
You know what we call this in Arabic? Like when we say that someone is getting married, we say that they are going through the golden cage. Like it's a cage, like the cage for birds.
Yeah.
They are going into it, like they are gonna be like imprisoned. But
You're
it's
locked in.
But it's literally like you're locked in, but it's gold. Like it's a golden cage, you know? It doesn't look as miserable, but actually it is. Literally, that's how we say that someone is getting married. They're going into the golden cage.
Damn, that's kind of cute though. I don't know. Kind of want to be locked in with someone.
So you would get married because you didn't answer the question though.
I think.
Like, would you do you think it would be necessary for you, let's say, like personally, because we both discussed what is marriage, blah, 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 but for you personally, would you think it would be necessary for you to feel like your relationship is actually fulfilled?
Not fulfilled, but would be nice to... Oh, you know what? My sister. Let me tell you something about my sister. On the 29th of January, she officially... Yeah, 1990. No. On the 29th of January, she officialized her relationship with her boyfriend back then.
Mm-hmm.
And then she actually got to have her kid. Her first kid was born on this day as well,
Mm-hmm.
29th of January. So it was kind of like a present.
Oh wait, so she like, how do you mean officialized it? Like in authorities?
No,
Oh.
they just got together on the 29th of January.
Oh, okay.
And then they had a kid on the 20, like she gave birth on the 29th of January.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got married on the 29th of January, the next year or something like that. Like the 29th of January is like their date and also the first kid as well.
Good, it wasn't February.
Oh.
That would have been miserable.
I actually know someone born in that day.
No.
Yeah, it's my godmother.
Oh my god.
Anyways, but yes, something like that, like having a date with someone, because I really like that, even though it's cheesy. Because I had this conversation with you, I like having a date. Be like, oh, every year, be like, this date, we had like that little cute date, and we were like, let's just be out there for the people to know. I think having your wedding day on that same day as my sister did is so iconic for some reason. And like you officialize the whole thing privately with your partner, but then you just have like a little celebration with the other people. I don't know, maybe it's gonna be a 5-year, or doesn't matter when you get married, because literally my sister got married so fast. And it's working for her. Some people wait 10 years. Doesn't matter. Like if you have like a little celebration with the people on that date, I think that feels really special. And I would like something like that, even though you can't control it. You'd be like, yeah, fucking let's get married in Vegas or something. Let's run away. Oh, that kind of wedding, yeah, as well.
Running away?
Run away and get married in a random ass country.
But what you
or
mean
city.
run away? Like someone is holding you?
Like just get married by ourselves, I mean.
Oh.
With no people around us.
That's not running away. Because running away for marriage has a lot of different meanings in my cultures.
Oh, okay.
Like back there in the Middle East, that's something else, babes. Don't mix them up.
No, like doing it privately, that's
like,
also super nice, and I would be down for that.
Like spontaneously, you mean, not running away. Like, oh fuck it, let's get married there without no invitation because we're just deciding on it right now.
Maybe like spontaneously as well, but doesn't have to be in my city. Like
that's what I mean.
Let's just book a trip and we get married in Italy or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I also am against big weddings. I think they have no business being that big. And also in my culture.
I mean, before you continue, I agree with that because there are a lot of fucking people that I wouldn't invite to my wedding, let's say, like from my family. Like, what does the cousin of my mom's aunt sister has to do with me to invite him to my wedding? Like, the fuck? I don't even know him. And why? It should be just your friend's circle and your family.
Close family.
I wouldn't like consider my like aunt and uncles and shit. Maybe I would invite some cousins that I'm close to.
Exactly.
That's it. I'm not even inviting their parents. Like,
or like maybe an aunt or two, but I am not gonna invite everyone.
Definitely.
Because there are like, for example, my dad has siblings that I'm not close to. I wouldn't invite them.
Yeah.
I do have some that I'm close to, and no offense, I'm inviting whoever I want.
Yeah, because they literally, such events, like, they are life-changing for you. Like, it's a big step, as we said again, like...
in society.
Yeah. But they, like, the closest people to you, such family members, try to turn such important events in your lives into the most miserable events. Just because some of them are such snakes.
Exactly.
And they have to talk shit, no matter what.
And something else that it's in my culture, when back then, which is understandable, back then when people were getting married, you have to pay to go to the wedding. Okay, you go there, and that they are giving you at some point throughout the night, you receive an envelope and you have to put money in there.
Yeah, we have the same.
And
thing,
then put it in
kinda.
a box, and that's like the wedding gift. They're
Mhm.
not doing gifts like, oh, I'm buying you a microwave. No. It's like, and back then it was being done like that because it's like a support. So you start the
Yeah.
family and the relationship. Like you buy an apartment and you, because you know, you live with your parents, and
Mhm.
basically when you get married, you have to move together. But
Yeah.
nowadays it's not like that. You already live with the
It's
person, and
changed.
some people already have kids before even getting married.
Mhm.
And why would I need 100 euros or 200 euros from like my mom's cousin sisters just because they came and like tried to have some fun and celebrate with me? Why can't I just have something small with my family and friends, as I said? And I want to do that. They're not like, they can just say no and not come, or just come and have a good time.
Mhm.
Why would you have to pay me money? And I don't have to do something grandiose like as we do in Romania.
Elena,
Like,
but Elena is saying this from experience because she suffered from this, especially during her sister's wedding.
yeah, my sister's wedding kind of put me in debt for a whole year. And it's not even like, because you know it's a wedding, and besides the fact that you pay the gift, it's so much arrangements. So like the dress, the makeup, the hair,
Other traditions on the side.
other I had to like in Romania you have to steal the wife, and I stole my sister as well. And that was a lot of money too, because I had to Uber in the middle of the night on a Saturday night, which is so fucking expensive. And yeah, we went to a club, and it's just a funny tradition at this point. And no one wanted to steal her, and I was like, fuck it, girl, let's just get out of here. And yeah, but as I said, I would like something small
Yeah,
with
same.
just close people, and I do it because I want to celebrate. I even
Mhm.
had this talk with my mom. I was like, I don't get it why people have to pay to enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
If you want to do something big,
Like,
why would
before
I have to pay for your
yeah,
wishes?
Yeah. And you know what it feels like? It feels like at this point, like some people would like, fuck it, let's not go. Let's just give you the money at this point, you know? Like some people feel entitled to go and enjoy themselves just because they are gonna give you money. And so they be like, my money was worth it actually. I go and ate some food.
Yeah, and when you imagine when you get there and you see how big it is, you feel bad and you put extra money.
Yeah.
Because you go there with like a budget, and then you're like, oh my God, but there are five, it was a 5-course meal,
Mhm.
and the music kind of slapped. I should put 100 euro extra. That's so so much pressure.
Happened to you?
Yeah. I mean, not to me especially, but I've been to a wedding with my dad, I think.
Mm.
And it was kind of like that.
I haven't been to a wedding since my uncle's. You know when was that?
When?
2011.
Damn.
That was the last wedding I went to.
That's 13 years ago.
Yeah, I was literally like 9 years old, 10 years old.
Oh,
The only
I
wedding.
almost said, yes, same. I forgot we're the same fucking age.
Like, oh my God, you were 9 in 2011, me too.
I was like, my brother was born and I was 9. And yeah, but also, oh, that was your last wedding? Wait,
Yeah, the last and the only one in my whole life.
damn.
I've never been to another
Me,
wedding.
mine was last summer, and this year I think I'm going to 2 weddings.
I think I'm invited to a wedding this year as well, though,
Actually,
in Berlin.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I think I might have 3, but one of them I really don't want to go
3?
to. Yes,
In
my
Romania?
yes, and my sister's kind of.
What the
My sister's kind of forcing me to go to that one. She's like, it's my friend. And I'm like, what's my business with her? Like, literally. She's like, you know, I have to, because she's going to be like part of the wedding. Like she's gonna officialize. She's gonna be part in the, you know, the religious ceremony. She's gonna be part of it, so they're kind of gonna get related somehow. I'm not sure how to say that in English. And she's like, you know, you have to come. You're my sister. Like, girl.
Like she's getting engaged or something, or
No, like, kind of godmother and father for the marriage.
oh, wasn't it like a bridesmaid?
No, it's deeper than that.
What, for real?
Yeah, like
But I know what you mean. You
when
know,
you
like,
do the religious thing,
like
they stay
there's-
at the altar
Yeah.
there, both of them, and then there's another
Girl, I
pair.
know I'm Orthodox too.
Yeah, exactly. And there's another pair that are being like engaged in this thing
Okay.
in religion. And then they like whenever the marriage couple has like problems, they should always go to these friends that they got to, because it's like kind of like a spiritual therapist,
Yeah, I know. We have that too.
kind of like a family friend, which is actually family at that point.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you have to come. And I'm like, I really have to find the words to tell her no, because I also have two others that a friend of mine invited me to, because he doesn't have someone to go with. And I was like, oh my god, I would actually love to go, because it's also Moldovan wedding, and that will slap. One of them is also actually in Moldova.
Oh.
Yeah, in the capital.
okay.
And I'm actually so looking forward to go to that one.
That's nice.
Because last year I've been to another wedding, which was half Moldovan and half like from another region, and the music was shit because of the other region. And the fact that I'm possibly gonna go to a Moldovan one with just Moldovan music, I'm like, and Moldovan people, the food and the drinks especially, I'm so excited for them.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll wrap it up here. It was a good discussion, a good topic as usual to discuss with you, Pookie.
Yes, it was really fun.
It was.
Maybe we should have talked about weddings in our cultures as well.
That should be topic of one of our episodes.
Yes, I think we should come back to this.
Yeah.
So we explain, like, because you see that tradition with stealing the bride.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be so like blurry right
And
now
you know,
for people listening to it.
As Ghassan said, we're both Orthodox. So it's the same religion but different cultures. So that's gonna be fun.
Interesting.
That's gonna be fun
That's
to compare.
interesting. Yeah, definitely. We should do that.
Yeah.
So I guess come back in another episode to listen to our different traditions and cultures in weddings, and we hope you enjoyed this episode's topic, and if you agree or disagree with our opinions, we'd like to hear
Or
a feedback,
actually,
as
no,
always.
good for you. Everyone has the right to have different opinions.
Yes,
so I must stand
for
by
sure.
that, at least for now.
For sure. Valid.
So see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.